for a sec?
I'm gonna talk for a sec right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Thank
do
you.
it right now.
Thank you. You're a really good sport. You know that. People should talk
What do you
shit
mean
about
by
you
that?
less. Anyway.
By people, do you mean you?
Well, no, because I don't talk shit. I say it to your face. You know, so it's different.
That's still talking shit. That's called you don't talk behind my back. You still talk shit.
No,
You're like no, I wasn't being mean there because I said it in front of you.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Emily and say that you're a cunt. Like I told you just now that you are.
Exactly.
That's not talking shit. All right, buddy.
Yeah, it's just stating facts. Like when I call
All
you a
right, so
cunt,
Bugonia.
I'm just stating facts.
He hates women.
Yeah.
He hates
and
women.
so does
Cancel
the
him.
main character of this movie. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Not on the Pod podcast. I'm not going to say that it's good to be back. Well, no, I should say it's good to be back. You'll have episodes before this one, so you won't be mad at us for the long gap, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you'll have been mad at us 2 episodes from
ago.
now.
Yeah. So
Ago,
the one
yeah.
I upload after we're done recording this podcast.
Yeah,
so you can
we're out
post
of the doghouse now, hopefully.
all the shitty comments that you have about us in that episode. Actually, don't do it in that one because I'll feel bad for Emily, who's a special guest on that episode.
yeah, don't do that to Emily. Do it during the
Train to Busan.
do it during the train. Don't do it then either. Out of respect
That's a really
for my
good
man.
movie.
R.I.P.
Yeah, dude. God damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
God
anyway, today we did Bugonia. A movie. Fuck, we should have looked at the director, but starring Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone, and a couple other people. Stavros Halkias is in it as a presumed child molester. I'm thinking. God, man, Stavros.
By the way,
getting the short end of the stick in his acting career.
By the way, the director is Yorgos Lanthimos. I think is how you say it.
I feel like
Will Tracy wrote the screenplay.
What has he done? I've definitely seen stuff that he's done.
We've got My Best Friend, Canetta, Dogtooth, Alps, The Lobster, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Favorite, Poor Things, Kinds of Kindness. I've heard about Kinds of Kindness.
I've seen The Favorite. The Favorite is fantastic. That's the one. I think I recommended it to Emily, but you might have been hanging out with us when I recommended it. It's the one with the lesbians and the queen.
I don't. Oh yes.
Where I said it's like
we
just
talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
We literally just talked about that.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Like a few days ago.
Again with Emma Stone, so I guess he must be a frequent collaborator with her. But anyway, we'll cut a lot of it out while we're trying to figure that out. But anyway, that movie's fucking weird, man.
Bugonia?
Bugonia is... Because, there's a lot of his movies that I've been meaning to watch, like The Lobster, that, like, I know are strange like this. But, like... The Favorite at least had a cohesive plot, even though it was off kilter like this. This movie was just like, you never know what is actually happening. Even all the way up to the end, a part of me doesn't know if it's real.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is you have an unreliable narrative.
Yes.
And then you have like 2 opposing ideas that are like, and these people that are both like arguing their side with such conviction. And also Jesse Plemons' character seems insane. So it's like very hard to tell who's correct and like what exactly is going on and to what extent. Until the very end. Like I legitimately didn't know for sure if Homegirl is an alien or not until the end.
Yeah.
I I went back and forth so many times.
Yeah, it's just like I wouldn't even call it a fever dream because you are understanding like the beats, but it's just one of those things where you just don't know. You're never sure if what you're seeing is what you're meant to be getting from it.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well,
should we go scene for scene, or like what's the
well,
vibe here?
I was gonna say real fast. Maybe we kind of talk about like the general like idea, like set the scene a little bit of like what we're getting into. Basically, Begonia is about this woman who is a CEO of a company who produces pesticides. I'm pretty sure, right? That's what we discovered.
Yeah,
Who
it was,
produces pesticides.
yeah.
And we have our main character, Jesse Plemons, and also his cousin, Don, who I don't recognize that actor. But he was good. Feel bad for him. He was a victim. But
Every
it's mostly
like,
Jesse Plemons' character.
I
Like,
would
he is the one.
I would say Teddy's a victim too.
Everyone's a victim in their own, yeah. But like
I don't
Teddy,
think
so we'll, yeah.
she's not a victim.
Hold on, let's get it.
She's
Hold
not.
on. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. So Jesse Plemons' character Teddy, and then his cousin Don, but it's mostly Teddy. Teddy is like the driving force. He is like the ringleader of this operation. But he has been doing studies on aliens, and he believes that there's a species called the Andromedan species of aliens, and he believes that this CEO is an alien, and he convinces his cousin to then kidnap her at her home and lock her away in their basement, where they then are doing like tests and trying to get her to bring them to her mothership. So the entire movie is basically kind of us just figuring out like Teddy and like where he got these ideas, and also like kind of just like it's kind of like we said, it was so back and forth. Like really, I think like the movie is meant to keep you confused a little bit and keep
Yeah.
you kind of guessing about what
Mhm.
exactly is going on. But you're basically, the entire movie is just you trying to figure out whether or not she's actually an alien. And you know that like his mother, who was played by Alicia Silverstone, she's barely in it, but his mother
That's
has
Alicia
been.
Silverstone?
Mhm.
Wow. Did not even recognize her. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
about
her.
probably because she usually plays a blonde, you know what I mean? But like, yeah,
Her
that's
hair's
crazy.
she's like very hippie. She's let her hair like her hair has gotten like kind of brownish,
Yeah.
grayish over the years, and she just lets it. But she there's something, she has been a victim of this company,
Mhm.
basically. Like
1 second.
she had
I
like an
gotta.
his mother was like a victim of the opioid epidemic,
Mhm.
and we don't know exactly how, but we learn slowly over time that this woman and her company basically used her as a test subject to try to improve her condition, and it ended up putting her in a comatose state. And yeah, so just wanted to set the scene a little bit. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. Um, yeah, I don't know if we. I mean, I guess we could go scene by scene.
Yeah, because there's not like a lot of like individual scenes. We can get kind of do like sections where like we open up
Yeah, section. Yeah,
all right.
I'm gonna
So
go first.
we open up the movie with like it's a photo, like not a photo, like a scene of a bee landing on like a purple flower. I'm not a flower guy, so I don't know the exact subspecies of this thing. But and you have Teddy talking to Don about like how bees work and like how they'll abandon the queen and stuff like that. And it definitely kind of gives me cult leader vibes how he's talking about it, where he's trying to like use this metaphor to get him to go along with the plan that they're about to commit together. Which,
Right.
just as an aside, I'm assuming people have watched this movie by the time they get to this podcast. But if you haven't, I would stop watching because we're gonna spoil the whole thing. But do you
Unless you
think?
don't care and you just want to hear our awful rambling
Yeah,
and
if
you
you,
want to be super confused,
yeah. So, buckle up. Do
buckle
you
up.
think Don was involved from the very beginning with the killings, or do you think he was just invited to
No,
this one?
absolutely not. I think this is his first
Yeah,
time.
think that's why he got him the needle with the.
I think this has been a Teddy thing from the jump, and this one probably because it was directly involved with his mother and she's so powerful, it felt important enough to where he felt like he needed
Help.
assistance.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, that's our introduction to these two. And as they're talking, we start to get little snippets of Emma Stone's character. What is her name? Fuller?
Michelle Fuller.
Michelle Fuller. And she's like beating the shit out of people and like running really fast on the treadmill. So it's like she seems
she was doing like a mixed martial arts something. She wasn't beating up random people.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like clearly
yeah.
like a higher, like she's a rich woman and doing a class.
But like
Just
clearly like clearly we're getting the vibe that like these two groups of people or like these two people live different lives than her.
Right.
And
yeah. And Jesse Plemons, well, Teddy and Dawn both live in like the middle of nowhere on a farm. Their house is extremely run down. It's like very like white trash. They're both extremely greasy and unkempt the entire time. Like I think we are meant to understand that this is like a community that is in financial crisis, like, and is underprivileged, and she is the opposite of that.
Yeah. And as we come to find out, a lot of it is because of her company. So like it comes down to the fact that we start to see that they have a plan of kidnapping Michelle Fuller, and we see them going through the processes of buying masks, chemically castrating Dawn.
Of Jennifer Aniston, by the way.
Of Jennifer Aniston. I wonder if she gave her permission for her likeness or if, like,
she had to have.
Yeah, something
she
like
had
that.
to have. She's too famous.
Yeah. And like chemically castrating Don, which feels strange, especially since he's like heavily autistic.
Which, by the way, Teddy has at least told us that he has done this to himself and has been this way.
Which I believe him.
I believe him too. I think he has too. But he's like telling Dawn, he's like, we have to chemically castrate you because you can't like be thinking about sex and stuff like that, or you can't focus. There's no we can't do video games, we can't do screens, we can't do media, you can't jack off, you can't do any of this stuff. We have to focus on the mission. He's like very like trying to alter Dawn's entire lifestyle to be about this mission.
Which, thinking about it, this is very incel coded. Where it's like they believe that like women hold them back from being good, so it's a good thing that they can't get with women and stuff like that. So like there's a whole lot of like real life like conspiracy theorist shit that's mixed in with their own
for sure. Like Teddy is like reeking with like just like chronically online conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. She actually says once they kidnap them that like he is in an echo chamber. Like he just spits his ideas out, and then anytime someone comes back with them with something else, he just rejects it immediately.
He also admitted it, which is true, and he also did admit that he had like dabbled in all kinds of groups, including alt-right. Yeah, he was like, I've tried Marxism, I've tried alt-right, I've like whatever.
Which is crazy to me because once you go leftist, you never go back. But anyway, like, so they go to the kidnapper by hiding in the bushes outside of her house, and they immediately get their ass kicked right away. Like as Abigail was screaming the whole time.
Training, by the way, too.
Yeah, they've been doing like a little training thing. They've been trying to do it
was yank shit compared to her.
Yeah, compared to her, like she was like actively like in top shape, and they are a bunch of schlubs who started working out a week ago, you know. And then she like gets the upper hand on them immediately, but then does a couple two things like that Abigail was getting mad at as we were watching it, where she doesn't go back into the car and drive away. She tries frantically to open the front door and then just runs
which
around
is
back.
locked.
Yeah, which
But
is
her unlocked car is right there, and she has one of them already knocked out on the ground, which was
Yeah.
Dawn. Teddy was knocked out. He's starting to run towards her. She could have gotten in her car. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I
don't
fully
like
agree.
I don't like when movies do that. Like, what I wish they would have done is had Dawn kind of knocked out and then had Teddy like body blocking the car. So she was forced to
That
find
would make more sense,
an
but
alternate
that's
route.
not how it happens.
Which that's me being nitpicky, because like I do feel like the rest of the movie was really like well done, but I it's like that. If I'm gonna get nitpicky, it is about stuff like that, where it's
that's
like
an important thing to get
obvious stuff. Yeah, because it's like if there's especially like this is a woman who is supposed to be so
Smart.
superior.
Yeah.
Like she is supposed to be extremely intelligent, extremely quick, extremely like
And an alien.
physically, yeah, and an alien. So it's like it just doesn't make sense that she would have been fumbling with her key, trying to find a key to then get into the house. She would have gotten in her car. And so I don't disagree with like the fact that they went the route of her trying to get into her house. I just think it needed to have made sense. That's all. That's always going to be my nitpick about movies, is I need it to make sense. It can't just be like, we wanted this to be the route we went, so it happened. Like, that's not how real life would go.
Yeah, and
but anyway.
I feel like that's really the only moment in the film that's like that. That's like an obvious, like, why did we do that? Because everything else makes sense in context.
Right, I agree.
So eventually, he tracks her down in the backyard, and they wrestle, and he's able to stab her in the leg with a needle, and eventually she's just taken down by whatever medication was in that.
Sedative, yeah.
Yeah, sedative was in that. And then we cut to the house, and he's like covering. Wait. What? Is there something before this?
First, yeah, when they're on the way to the house, Teddy is like frantically telling Dawn that he needs to be in the back seat with her and that he needs to shave her head. Because she can't use her hair to contact her mothership.
Yeah.
And then go on.
Which
because that becomes important later.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, it's called back to.
Yeah.
And he goes back to Teddy's house, and they're like rubbing an antihistamine cream on her.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what it's supposed to do, block her powers or something. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like something about weakening. He explained it, but it was like some like rambling bullshit.
It was conspiracy gobbledygook. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to.
Which I think it was right, and I think it worked, but
it was, but like
but it's supposed to be ridiculous. I think.
Yeah, it's like when you're working at a job, and then some dude starts talking to you about it, your brain immediately shuts off. I think it's just a natural.
Yeah, you're like, okay, buddy.
Yeah. It's like, I need to get the fuck away from this guy.
Yeah.
But so, and then like she finally like wakes up, and she's not like fearful when she first wakes. She's kind of immediately like assessing the situation, being like, all right, where am I? Who are these people? How
did you shave my head? Where is my hair?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Like, she's very like, what's the word? Like inquisitive, I guess. Like she's very much just trying to like assess and like figure
analytical. I think would
analytical.
Be a good term.
She's trying to like, she's trying to like figure out exactly what her situation. And she does seem very calm, which I will say, like, I know that in some ways would seem like an alien-esque quality, but I also think that like a woman, like coming from like a woman's perspective, especially like a woman in power like that, who is used to kind of having to like de-escalate situations, obviously not to this extent, but I think like just women in general are used to, they like can kind of snap into the mode of having to try to placate a scary man. So it's like, to me, that was not like, you need to sneeze.
It was like building up, and I could
I could see it. But like women in general, like are used to having to like placate a man to one degree or another for their own safety. So to me, like that in and of itself wasn't like a red flag to me, because I was like, I would do the same thing. I would
Yeah.
try to act as calm as possible and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But go on.
But I think I wasn't saying that to immediately be like this bitch is an alien. I think it was more like
I just wanted to say
yeah,
what I was thinking though in the moment.
yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, it's just like she's definitely like more calm and collected than a lot of people would in this situation. But like as we see earlier in the film where we're like seeing her like talk to her employees and stuff, very used to corporate speak, very used to talking down to people but not talking down to them. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So it makes
Yeah.
sense for her character to do that. Um,
We get a
and
very funny scene like towards the beginning. It's like
mm-hmm,
where she goes around and she's like she doesn't say like what the incident is. They don't go deeper into it, but basically there's some sort of implication of like there being an issue of like overworked employees or something like that. And so she's like, "We want to change the environment. We're going to change things so now everyone absolutely should go home at 5:30 to be with their families, unless of course they still have work to do, in which case they should absolutely stay. But if they can get out of there early, which they really shouldn't if they still have work to do, then they can." And then she like does the same thing to like the chauffeur on
yeah,
the way out, or what are they called, the valet. She
yeah,
does the same thing to the valet on the way out, where she's
mm-hmm.
like, as a treat, you go home early, you deserve it, unless you feel like you shouldn't and you have work to do. You're conscious, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's very fun. I liked that. It
And
was
it gets
funny.
called back to later, like at the end too, when they're walking in with Teddy. She says that to the
Yeah.
chauffeur guy, being like, "Hey, it's 5:30. You can go home," and starts saying it to people as she's walking through the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
um, but anyway, um, so then like their reactions to her, like basically they reveal that like we know you're an alien, and we want you to take us to your ship so that we can talk to whoever's in charge and save humanity. And she's immediately like, sure, yeah, I get that, but I'm not an alien. Which
Right.
is more confident than I think I would be in that situation, where I would immediately be like, oh, fuck, there's nothing I can do to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because, like, these people aren't just, like, here to, like, do bad stuff to me. They are just beyond reason. These people are crazy. And, like, what happens after this? Like leading up to.
So, they give her like a little tape recorder, and Teddy's like, "Here's what's gonna happen. We know what's up. Like, I don't believe anything you're saying. We know what you are. We know all this stuff. What we want is to be in contact with your mothership, so we can basically, what his goal is to negotiate a better life for humans, is like essentially
Mm-hmm.
what it sounds like. He doesn't want like what happened to him and his family and like to the people around him, like to continue. Like, he believes that these aliens specifically are wanting to take control of human life and keep them like little and stuck and whatever, and they're doing things to make their lives worse. And so basically what it sounds like to me is that he is wanting to negotiate with these aliens, which like Josh and I talked about a little bit during the movie. We try to keep it as minimal as possible, but we're like, does this man for real think
That don't give
that
a
like
fuck.
he is going to contact these aliens? So let's say she's an alien. Let's say she's an alien. Let's say she brings them to this ship and he gets there, then what? Like, he's on their ship where
Yeah.
they all have power. There's like they outnumber him greatly. In this situation, they would be way more powerful than him. What does he think? What is their reason to
Yeah.
negotiate? But anyway,
But
that's not the point
that's
though.
and I think that's just part of the delusion, where I think because of
Yeah.
his life, like where he's had no control over his own life the whole time, this is his attempt of a power grab, where he's like, I will
Right.
become the savior of humanity. Like have
Yeah.
had so much horrible shit done to me, but it will still be me that saves everybody. This was his way
Right.
of trying to grasp on to like
Yeah.
something for himself. But
Yeah. Because it's like it's obvious, it's like interesting because it's obvious that he is extremely smart. Like he is very smart, and he has, like, for the most part, in like certain ways, I think, like, good intentions. He's just
mhm,
extremely fucked up.
yeah,
Through like there's clearly a lot going on in his childhood. We get insight into like his mother obviously having an opioid addiction. We get flashbacks to like a little bit of how that was for him. We also have like a reoccurring like cop that keeps showing up that like alludes to something fucked up that he did to him
yeah.
when he
It,
was babysitting him
we
like
think
years
it's
and years and years ago.
an essay thing, like a
Yeah, which,
yeah,
like, I mean, he ends up basically saying it
saying
towards,
that.
you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
towards the end of like his part on in the movie. He
yeah,
ends up pretty much basically admitting it. So that is like, and obviously he's poor. Like he's like living in like his dad left him. They mentioned that like his dad ran out on him. Something happened with Don's family because Don is his cousin, and Don says that Teddy is all he has left.
yeah.
So
Something
they're
happened.
very fucked up. Like there's a lot
Yeah,
going on there.
and I think this is how it is with a lot of rural communities, where it's just like families just like get torn apart by like drugs and violence and stuff like that, and
Right.
it's like whoever's left is left to try and sort out a life for themselves. Um,
Right. So that's like I agree with you, Josh. I think that is like him, just his only like he feels like that's his only way to like his only attempt at gaining some control over
yeah.
his life and over like the fate of humanity
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But yeah, he ends up telling her that he wants her to record a statement basically to send to them. And she is continuing to be like, I'm not an alien, but okay. And then they leave, and then they end up checking in on her, and like there's we have like also a lot of moments throughout this movie where Dawn is like pushing back on what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
From the start we get that, like when Teddy's trying to tell him like we need to work out, we need to do this, we need to
Yeah.
do that. Like Dawn is very much like, do I have to chemically castrate myself? I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to bone someone someday. I
Yeah.
don't really want to do that. And then like with the kidnapping, he's like, is this kind of messed up? Or like, and like, I
And,
don't want to shave her head. I don't want to hurt her.
which I think is like, and I don't mean this in a negative way whatsoever. I think that is just like an autistic trait where it's just like autistic people tend to just question shit that a lot of people don't
Well, they
question.
also have a strong sense of justice.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, and I think that's why like a lot of people like claim that autistic people like don't have a place in society, but it's like no, it's just because their brains aren't wired like yours, so they see things differently. Where it's like this guy is fully bought into the delusion in a way that Don is not. Don just loves Teddy and wants to support him and be with
Yes.
him. And,
His intentions are pure. Like he
yeah.
just wants to be happy, and he wants Teddy to be
Mhm.
happy, but he also is like feeling like maybe this isn't the right thing to do,
Yeah.
or like so you get a lot of pushback, but it's like
Uh-huh.
his desire to please Teddy and like make things right for Teddy is a lot bigger than what he feels. So it's like he does, he does have the pushback, but pretty much if Teddy puts his foot down, Don doesn't question that really.
Question:
Answer.
do you think? I mean, I guess I could. I want to bring it up now because I'll forget. Um, if Dawn made it to the end, do you think she takes him with her?
Absolutely not.
No, even knowing how he is.
Absolutely not.
No,
She doesn't have the same
like
like
feelings. Yeah, like
yeah, like
yeah.
it's yeah.
But like it's
I
weird
don't think
though.
she's meant to have the same like moral compass, and like she is manipulating him the entire time, and she
Yeah,
goes
well,
like back and forth between like, oh, like no, neither of you will get arrested. Okay, maybe he will, but not you. You know, like, and
Yeah.
I'm not an alien, but if I was, I'd take you with me. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think she would have. No,
Yeah.
I don't think she
There's
cares.
a lot I want to talk about this ending, but
Yeah,
anyway, we'll
we'll get
continue
into
on.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack at the end.
Yeah.
But essentially, they have kind of like a back and forth where like they continue to go downstairs to talk to her. Teddy is hoping that like she'll be more cooperative and will admit she's an alien and will like give the information that he wants. They end up going down there. She has recorded a message, and he listens back to it and he's not happy with it. It's basically her saying, I'm an alien, I need to speak to the Andromedan emperor, I want to bring these people, whatever. And he's like, no, because first of all, you said that in English. You didn't even say that in your native tongue. That's first of all. Second of all, I put do not disturb on my Discord so that I wouldn't get distracted with beeps. Oh, and it didn't work. One sec. Okay. Anyway, but he also feels like her message isn't convincing and like that it seems like she still doesn't believe him. So he decides to put her through this testing.
Yeah.
Which Josh is a fucked up individual.
All right, wait, I gotta explain myself.
Much.
I have to explain myself. At this point in the movie,
I haven't even told them what we're talking about
yet. No, but I need to explain like where I'm at mentally at this point in the movie. All right.
Okay.
Because at this point in the movie, the only thing that we kind of get about her is that she's a terrible human being, billionaire CEO. As a leftist myself,
But we all know, and we all want that.
We all know and we agree. Anyway, so I didn't have a lot of empathy for this character, but Abigail's a lot more caring of a person than me. So continue. Go ahead.
So it's not that I'm like, but it's just also, regardless of how horrible a person is, it is also like, I hate to always bring it back to this because I feel like I sound annoying, but it's like, it's true. Like, it's like the reason stuff always comes back to this is because it's true. But like watching also like a woman go through something where she is being like forcibly detained and they're like touching her without her permission and they're hurting, like something about that like really is hard for me to watch. And like torture scenes in general is hard for me to watch, even if I feel like the person deserves it. Like it's just still, I think something about, if it's done right, if it's acted well, like the noises that they make and stuff like that, it's like just makes me like, it's so like guttural and like human that it's like does something to me like in my nervous system, and it just like really like gets to me. But they're doing like some sort of like electroshock therapy of sorts,
but so much so that it's like flickering the lights in the house. Like this is more than just that. Like this is,
no, it's like it's messed up. And I honestly don't know exactly his purpose of doing this. What he ends up saying after it's all done is like he clearly was measuring something about her power level or like her frequency or something like that. And that has something to do with her being an alien. But also, I think that a lot of it was just like wanting to see her suffer, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know how much of it was like really practical. Because,
I mean, because once he realizes how much she can take, he realizes that she's more than just like a regular alien. She's like the top alien.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying is like I think that's part of the purpose, but I think part of it is like a vengeance thing.
He didn't seem like he was really getting a lot of joy from it. Like, you know what I mean? If he
was
smiling,
did to me.
He just seemed like he was just...
People process it. He didn't smile once in this entire movie. He is a miserable bitch. He's
I
I didn't
mean,
mean to call him that.
I mean, to be real, if you had his life, would you not be a miserable bitch? Like,
No, I'm not saying he's not, but I am saying that is true. Like, I don't think I saw him
yeah,
smile once in the entire movie. I don't think he gets joy anymore. I
you know,
think that like he
I
might
he,
get a satisfaction, but I don't think he's gonna be sitting there
I
cheesing
think,
like a evil mastermind.
I think he loved his bees.
Yeah, and he
I
loves
think that's
Dawn,
it.
but I don't think he finds joy. Like, I don't think he's happy ever. Like, I
Yeah,
think like, but there's a difference between like outward happiness expression and a satisfaction.
yeah.
But regardless of the fact, what we do know is for sure is that as he is doing this, first of all, this is something that is very upsetting to Dawn. Like, it was kind of like I was watching Josh and I's reaction. It was like Josh was in control of the electricity and I was Dawn, is what it felt like. Because
Yeah.
like Teddy is sitting here like no remorse, no hesitation, no nothing, going in with this like shock therapy stuff. And Dawn is like, "You're hurting her. This is messed up. Please stop." To the point where like Dawn has been very like passive and like just lets Teddy do whatever, but it's to the point where it bothers him so much that he actually goes to move Teddy's like hands from the machine. Like he is trying to physically move him, but it is like he is also so much under his power, I guess, that like as soon as Teddy is like, "Back up,
Mhm.
don't do that," Don's like, "Okay, fine." But then
Yeah.
he just like sits there and like closes his ears because what you're hearing is like this extremely high frequency and also her screaming.
Also, Green Day is playing over this so that like the people
Yes.
outside
Do
don't.
you
You
have
have
the
a
time
time. I don't know the
to
words of the
listen
song.
to me whine
Wait.
about
We're gonna get
nothing and
canceled. We're gonna
everything?
not canceled. They're gonna flag us. Content warning.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but also like really messed up. Like I was like sitting there, Josh and I, like it came on, we're like, "Hell yeah."
And
Hell
then
yeah,
like we
this is,
realized what
and
was
then he starts
happening.
like torturing her,
Yeah,
and
and then
then
we're like,
we just slowly get silent, and we're like, "Oh." Yeah, that was real fucked up. But he ends up like keep continuing to turn up the frequency more and more and more and more. You could tell it's to the point where he hadn't intended to go that high.
mhm.
And then he ends up immediately like there's this fear in his eyes, and he's like, "Oh shit." And then he stops everything.
Well,
And
it's
mind
actually
you,
I don't think it's him. He stands up to like look at her, and that's when Don finally comes in and unplugs the machine.
did he?
Don's the one that unplugs it. Yeah, because he like stands up to look at
He would
her.
have regardless though, but he I
Yeah,
think
but
would
I
have
think
regardless
it's like
because that was him just reacting.
I think he finally had a moment where like he was stopped like guarding it, and that's Don like went in and immediately stopped it because he
Oh,
had a
okay,
chance.
I didn't catch that part, but
Yeah.
basically what it is like Teddy, which mind you, we don't see Michelle like in this moment. Like they show I think the back of her head at one point, but we're pretty much just looking at Teddy and Dawn and we're just hearing her. So when the camera goes back to her, it's like awful. She's like, she still has like the antihistamine cream all over
Yeah,
her,
it's like
like
yeah.
all just like patchy, and then she's
Mhm.
like drenched in sweat,
Mhm.
and like she had like a gag in her mouth, so she's got like blood like pouring out of her mouth. It's like was really horrible in my opinion to see. But he ends up figuring out that she is not like just an administrative part of this system, but she is in fact the queen of this system, or he believes her to be. So he apologizes to her and ends up being like, "You don't have to sleep on a cot in the basement anymore. Here, let's get you showered. Here's the dress. I'm gonna make you dinner. We're gonna sit at the table together." And then you speak. I feel like I've been speaking for too long.
But I guess this leads up to the scene that we're about to get to, where once like she
The
they
dinner
they
scene,
like
right?
yeah they set her up with a room and everything, and then like I don't think it's clear how long she's in this state. Is it for like a day, or
What do you mean?
like it
Like,
moves to the next day? Like so she's been basically up in the top part of the house for like a day by the time we get to this dinner scene.
I think, yeah, I think that this all happened like earlier in the morning. We she's
Well,
like
no,
cleaning up
because
all day.
4 days pass in the movie.
Oh,
So I think this happens on day 3, because day 4, because that's when like Don shoots himself, and then yeah. So this has to be day 3.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but they like let her like shower and whatever. And
yeah.
an
So
important part is that he gives her a new piece of clothing to wear because her clothes are all fucked up now.
and a
And it
wig.
is his mother's dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a wig, which she doesn't wear.
Yeah,
But it's his mother's dress, which feels relevant. But
yeah. Well, that, and this is it comes up during this
yeah.
scene. So they there's a, like, she doesn't really attempt to escape. Um,
Oh, also, sorry, the dress did have a tag with his mother's name on it that
yeah.
Michelle observed. By the way, I didn't say that part. I just said it was her dress. I didn't say how she knew it was her dress.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, and she's just kind of like chilling. He makes her spaghetti and meatballs, and like Don
It
sitting at the
looked gross, by
table.
the way. Grossest spaghetti and meatballs. For some reason, it looked like chunks of human. I don't. It was
It to
grossing me
me,
out.
it looked like leftover spaghetti and meatballs, like that had been
It
sitting in
looked
the
worse to
fridge.
me.
I don't like spaghetti and meatballs to begin with, so I wasn't really paying attention. But anyway, um, they start to have a conversation at the table where he like apologizes. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were a queen. You know what I mean? Like, I should have been treating you better because, like, you can help me speak to them and stuff like that." And they start to have a conversation at the table. She's still maintaining that she is human, um, throughout all of this. Uh,
She goes back and forth though. It's weird because like before this happens, like before like the electrotherapy, like there is a day where she's like, because she most of the time is like, I'm not an alien. I'm not an alien. There is a time
yeah.
where she's like, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I am an alien.
Mm-hmm.
And blah. But
Because
it's like she's acting as though she's not actually confessing to him. What she is trying to get across is like, it's like as if she is a human trying to placate him into
pretend.
believing
Yeah,
she's an alien.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not her actually confessing. It's interesting.
Yes. Yeah,
But she does go back and forth, and at the dinner too, I think there are parts of the time where she's like goes along with his idea, but then
Well,
there's some of the time where she says no.
it seems like the conversation starts that way, but then it shifts to her
Yeah.
trying to just basically psychoanalyze him. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
she's just like, well, you're doing all this because you want power for all the things that was taken from you. And then like they do the thing with the bees, where like he reveals that he knows about the things that her company's doing to the bees, the insecticides and stuff like that. And then they start to like kind of get into it. And she starts to talk about his mother. And meanwhile, the whole time Don's like, I have to go to the bathroom. Don's like,
He's being like, can I go to the bathroom? And Teddy's like, shut the fuck up,
this
Don.
is like a 5 to 10 minute conversation, and Don's just like, I have to go to the bathroom. Please let me go to the bathroom. And
Yeah, and then he's like, no.
Yeah. And it gets to the point when she brings up her mother, his mother, that he just loses it and launches at her across the table, and they start to fight. And it's less one-sided than it was in that beginning fight, where they are like really struggling with each other. And then what does Don do? Does he just go to get
Don
the shotgun?
at first he is just sitting, like just watching, I think, it all go down. But it seems like whenever it starts to become like he's choking her out, then he gets the gun, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but then she stabs him with a fork, and that loosens his grip on her. And then does she go? She tries to choke him to death.
She grabs him, yeah. Then she takes his tie and wraps it around his neck.
Around his neck, and
starts to choke him out. And then Dawn is like, "You better let go. You better cut it out." And she's not. And I think she knows that Dawn isn't going to kill her. Like the entire movie, she is very aware of the fact that, like, I think she tries to talk to Teddy as if he's not going to, but I think she does have a little fear that he would.
Yeah.
But with Dawn, I think she feels pretty confident that he wouldn't do anything.
Which
So
I think she's
she uses
correct in
that.
that. And
I do
I
too.
think the
I don't think he would.
I think the
Unless she legitimately like killed him.
killed. Yeah, well, yeah. If I was saying, like, if like he genuinely felt like Teddy's life was over if he didn't stop.
Which he did.
Her.
He did intervene. He did hit her in the head with the
Yes.
shotgun, like the butt
Yes.
of the like butt of the shotgun. You like hit her,
But that's
until
what I'm
she
saying.
passed out.
Like if there was a choice between killing her and saving Teddy, he would kill her for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. But if in any other situation, he will do anything he can to not let it get to the point where he hurts her.
Yes, yeah. That's just not in his nature. But
No.
so after he does that, he like brings her down in the basement. And this is when we have Stavros Halkis' character, who is the guy who molested Teddy. What we're assuming
When he was, he did.
It's
Josh
pretty.
is in denial because he likes this actor
I
and
like
it affects him.
But like,
no,
yeah, he did. He did.
They didn't use the word, but everything they said, like, yes.
It feels like I'm like defending somebody who popped up in the Epstein files. I'm like, no, but listen, he was just on there a little bit. All right, it's like our president. But anyway,
we would like to make it extremely clear that is not our feelings on the matter.
Oh yeah, no shit. I didn't think I was.
It's not no shit.
Is that not no shit?
I just want to make it.
The Not on the Pod podcast does not support pedophiles. Okay. I'll put that at the top of the episode.
Yeah, just the entire time above our faces.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so like he shows up, and because he had told him earlier, we didn't talk about this part where he went to work, right after they kidnapped her, and he pulled them over and they had a conversation, and this is where we started to kind of get that something happened between them.
The impression, yeah.
That gets confirmed during this upcoming scene. But he shows up under the guise of looking for that woman because her car was seen in the area. But I think it seemed like he just wanted to come there and stop by to, like, I guess try and
This is clearly something that has been like
eating at him.
Like, eating at him, like, since it happened, which as it should. But like, this is clearly him trying to like get this off his conscience. Is the goal, basically.
Which crazy. But anyway,
crazy. And what happens next, he deserves.
Yeah. So like he eventually gets come in, and like there's multiple things where it's like, oh, he's either gonna see her on the little like child screen that he has viewing her in the basement, or he's like bleeding from his shoulder that he's been trying to hide it and stuff like that. But it never happens. They end up having like not a heart to heart. It's more of like Stavros' character is
Teddy is trying to get him the fuck out of there. Because he knows he's downstairs, and Dawn is the one that's downstairs. He has a gun, like, whatever. But he knows full well, and she knows full well that he is not going to shoot her, like, if something goes wrong. So he is like kind of just in a rush to get him out of there in case she makes noise or something like that. So he's like, yeah, we're all good. It's fine. Water under the bridge. Anyway, you want to see my bees?
Yeah. So they like go out in the bee suits to go mess with the bees, and that's when we get a scene between Dawn and I forget what's her name, Michelle. I thought Michelle, but then for some reason I like backed out of it.
He kept calling. They don't say her name often. Like they kind of just refer to her as like an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Michelle,
or no, he calls her the what does he call her? Like most of the movie, he calls her like the humanoid something. He calls her like the humanoid.
Well, is she Andromedanoid?
I don't remember.
The Andromedanoid.
No, he doesn't say he like refers to her as humanoid something. Like that was her status before he figured out she was the queen.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, whatever. The point is they don't say her name often.
because they're from the Andromeda galaxy.
I know, and I know he's said that before, but there was a term. I just forget it, but it's not a big
It
deal.
don't fucking matter. It's gobbledygook. But anyway,
Gobbledygook.
like they're having like she's trying to convince Don to like let her go by being like, hey, I will take you guys with me to like wherever the fuck, you know what I mean? But then like
Yeah.
she's just like, really, you would even take Teddy? And then she like kind of backs off of that idea, but being like, but like even if I don't take him, I'll make sure if he gets arrested that nothing bad happens to him and stuff like that.
Also,
And
mind you, sorry, something I think is important before we say like exactly what happened is
yeah,
Dawn had also confided in Teddy a couple days prior, basically saying, hey, ever since you injected me with that stuff to chemically castrate me, I've I've been feeling really sad and like really.
I don't remember that.
He did. He was like, do you ever feel like, he was like, I've been feeling really sad, and like he used a couple other words. I forget exactly what else he said he was feeling, but then Teddy was like, it'll pass, it's fine. Like he was like, did that happen to you? He's like, yeah, it'll pass, it'll pass.
Oh my
But
god,
so
that
Dawn
makes
has
it
like
so much
been,
worse.
yeah.
Oh
So like,
no. Because I thought
yeah,
it
so
was
Dawn
just
had like
his life
been feeling,
situation, but I didn't know it was like a direct cause of what he did to
he
him.
was, it made him, he was feeling suicidal
Oh my god.
already.
Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
like when your testosterone levels drop, like that's usually when like real bad depression comes in. But damn,
They talked
that's
too about
terrible.
at some point, I honestly forget exactly what it is, but Michelle says something at some point about how like human beings, like they, like something about them being suicidal and trying to like prevent that or something, like, or it being like a genetic mutation. I forget exactly what she said and when.
Yeah,
I need to,
I think
this is a
I
movie in
think this
general for a lot of reasons I want to rewatch, and that's one of
I
them.
think this happens like right after this scene,
It
or
might, I honestly,
because like which I think it's when he comes back from injecting his mom with the
yeah, I
alien
think you're right.
fruits, and
Yeah.
that's when she just
Yeah.
like full
So,
on reveals all of it to him.
yeah. So, but like Michelle is like emotionally manipulating Dawn like that entire time, basically being like, you'll be fine. You won't get arrested. And they're like, he's like, Teddy will be fine. And she's like, well, yeah, but even if he does get arrested, I swear you won't. And la la la. And he's like, would you take me with you? Because he's clearly feeling like, in general, he's been like voicing this since the beginning, that he feels very like trapped and like does not like his situation on Earth. He does not like, he doesn't feel like he fits in, or that like it's a comfort to him, or that like this, there's a place for him besides with Teddy. So I think he like, he even says to Teddy at some point, like, oh, do you think we'll like where we're living basically in space? Like he was under the impression that they were trying to go live with the aliens. Like he didn't realize they were just trying to have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And Teddy's like, well, no, like we're getting the fuck out of there. It's just a conversation. And you can tell Don's disappointed by this. Like he wants a new life. And he does ask her, he's like, would you take me with you? And she's like, well, I'm not an alien. And he's like, okay, but if you were, would you take me with you? And she was like, yeah, like I will take you with
Mm-hmm.
me, la la la. And then he's like, okay, thanks. And then he shoots himself.
Well, no, he just says okay, and then he just straight up says it's like tell Teddy I'm sorry,
Oh yeah, tell Teddy I'm sorry.
and then just aims the gun at his head, and it's
He
very
puts it
graphic.
here, and you see
Yeah,
it's very
it's
graphic.
very graphic. Like
Do one thing for me. Tell Teddy that I'm sorry, that I love him. I will.
I knew it. I knew it.
like I thought maybe we were gonna get a cut, but no, it you see
No, you see it all, and then you see like this like
yeah,
gigantic like
blood,
flood of blood
and
all
then
over her,
it
and she goes, what the fuck?
and then it cuts to like Stavros' character like hearing the gunshot and being confused, and then Teddy like takes advantage of it and starts beating
Rips.
him to death.
Yeah. Well, so it was smart. He rips off his the little
beekeeper suit,
bee mask thing. Yeah, he rips that off of what's his face's head, and I think like puts the like honeycomb all over his face, and all the bees start attacking him, and he falls, and then he just bashes his head in with a shovel, which deserved.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah. But anyway, he eventually like makes his way downstairs with the gun, and like it's like, you killed him. You know what I mean? But like she doesn't seem like phased. She's just more like, he did it to himself. I didn't fucking do anything. Like,
well, it's kind of. I think it's more so like for her, she's like, well, there goes that plan. Like I thought I had progress, kind of. And yeah, and he comes downstairs and he's basically like threatening her and like saying that he's gonna kill her and whatever. And she's like, you won't kill me because I can save your mom.
Yeah.
And he's all like, word? And and she's like, yeah,
which
you have my car.
I don't think we're doing it justice, because Jesse Plemons from this moment until like for like the next 10 minutes, it kills this scene like emotionally.
He is amazing.
He is really good. Of just this guy's like fully really breaking down, like, and just grasping on to this little tiny piece of hope.
So desperate.
Yeah.
Yes. So desperate. And like clearly whatever his mom has put him through, he still like loves her and like wants her back. And it is devastating. Like there's a lot about his character to unpack, good and bad, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
But his performance the entire movie was great, but especially like from this point on, like the emotion and like the desperation and stuff, it's fantastic. But so I was he didn't say a word. But you know, he acted it very well.
It was just it's just like, we're going to be like, yeah, well, he goes there, he's like, he believes her, takes the antifreeze out of the back of the car, goes there, kills his mom, but it doesn't do it justice of
no, it doesn't. And I will remind at this point in the pod, if you haven't seen this movie, even if like you've listened to us explain it to this point, it will not do it justice, so it is still worth a watch. And if you have seen it, maybe go watch it again, because I feel like I need to.
I think I might need a break from it because it's a little heavy, but like
for sure, but at some point I definitely want to I want to revisit it. But anyway, so we can't, I don't think there's a way we can say it to do it justice, but basically she has like formulated this plan in her mind very quickly. She basically tells him that she has like this emergency antidote in her car, and that they had been doing this test on his mother, and that there's tests going on all over the world for all of these different people, and that she was one of them, but it takes 4 to 5 years to initiate. And at the end of the 4 to 5 years, she'll either wake up or she'll die. But there's a way to snap her out of that testing, basically, and it's the antidote. And she tells him like, hey, if you still have access to my car, it's in the back, it's disguised in a bottle of antifreeze, but it's not antifreeze, it's an antidote, basically. What reason do I have to lie to you? I can't leave. Like, what would I gain from this? You know, whatever. So that makes sense to him in his state of desperation and seeing his cousin all dead and stuff. And so he does go to do that, but she is kind of like has this Hail Mary, like, and assuming that that Dawn maybe has a set of keys on him, which honestly, this is like maybe the only other part of the movie that I find a little bit not believable. I don't think Teddy would have given him the keys, if I'm being honest. Which again, nitpicky, and like we really don't need to dwell on that for too long, but I don't think he would have given Dawn the keys, but he did apparently. And
the only thing I can think of is that he like, tried to give him every incriminating piece of evidence so that Stavros' character didn't notice anything strange. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. He could have just kept it in his pocket. He left his bloody blazer on. You
Yeah.
know?
I don't know. That's my only
So,
saving grace for that.
which like he is a flawed character and he does make mistakes and he clearly does have like gullible moments, but overall
Yeah.
he is like very smart and like feels very
Yeah.
in control prior to this point. So I don't think he would have, but he does. And so
Yeah.
he has
And
those
like
in his pockets.
genuinely, at like, there's not a single point in the movie until like the very end does anyone actually suspect him of having anything to do with this. Like, no one is on his trail at all.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
No,
Like
he like would have gotten away with it. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like
actually.
if his only plan was to kill her, he would have gotten away with it. Like 100%.
Yeah, and we find evidence to that fact soon after this moment. But basically she finds the keys in his pocket. She is able to, which also she's like limping the whole rest of the movie because he took the butt of the gun and like hit her in the kneecap.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is for Dawn," and then he like runs out of the room
Yeah,
to
to go
go
kill
like
his mom.
pump his mother full of antifreeze.
Yeah.
And so this is what's very interesting though. So first of all, we see Teddy. He's like furiously biking. He's got like his bee suit on still that's like covered in blood from murdering this man. He doesn't care. That's like, which I love. I honestly love that detail. Like he's so desperate. He is just like doesn't even give a fuck. So he bikes there. He is going to pump his mom full of antifreeze. Shocker, it's not an actual antidote. Why did I say it like that? Antidote. Antidote. It's not an actual antidote. He does kill his mom and he is devastated, and like that her flatlining alerts the nurses. He climbs out of the fire escape. It's like a whole thing. But in the meantime, the thing that's really interesting is we see Michelle like get her, like she pops her knee back in socket. She unlocks herself from this thing, and then she doesn't go upstairs to the door that she's seen them leaving and entering the entire time. She doesn't go do that. She goes immediately to this like hidden little thing in the wall that's like looks like it's just behind it would just be a bunch of like, what's it called, the like foamy shit, like the that they have in attic.
Insulation?
Yeah, it's like called, but yeah, like insulation. It like seems
Yeah.
like that's all that would really be there. She opens it up and there's like this entire little secret office thing that Teddy has, and it's got like all these newspapers and articles and stuff posted all over the walls. He's got his computer where he's like been like doing research on her. He has like a model of the spaceship that he has mocked up that he thinks their spaceship looks like hanging from the ceiling. It looks like a 3D printed model or something like that. But most importantly,
It's all the
we
fucking
see
dead bodies.
all the dead bodies. We've got shelves and shelves of like people's hands, their heads,
Yeah.
just parts of their body. We have one table that has an entire body like in plastic wrap or something just laying there. And we also have a detailed binder of what it seems to be like a detailed binder of all of his victims.
Yeah.
So like photos of these people, like information about them, probably a lot of information about like what he discovered in his testings and stuff. And he's clearly like done what he's done to her, like the electrical thing, like to everybody and more. And they're all dead. And this is interesting to me because at this point I'm like pretty sure she's just like an evil CEO woman. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how you felt, Josh, but I was pretty sure that she was not an alien.
The thing is, it was right before this. Like when she told him to go, like, you know, when she made up that bullshit about killing the mom, is when I fully got on board with her just being an evil CEO. Because up until that point, I'm like, she's an alien the whole time.
Yeah, no, I went back and forth too, and I had been feeling that way, but it was that moment too,
but
that I was
I
like,
had
oh,
gotten
you're
solidified.
Just an evil bitch.
Yeah, but then it turns out we're fucking wrong.
Like, we're fucking wrong. So she is an alien, and it's like extremely interesting because like a human person, first of all, would not have stopped to look at this stuff. She's like looking at what's in the jars. She's like looking through the
Because
binders.
she is she's free at this point, guys. Like she is gotten like it's not like she could have just called the cops and they would have found it. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
she
she
could
could
have
have.
just
She could
walked
have
out.
left already. She had the keys.
Literally like he's at least a few miles away. So it's like and he's on a bike, so she could walk down the street and like get away. Like she's
But she specifically waits for him. Not only
Yes.
does she stick around to look at all this stuff prior to leaving, she doesn't leave. She stays behind intentionally. And when Teddy gets back, obviously a wreck because he just killed his mom and Dawn just died. And he is furious at this woman for like causing all of this. And but he's also a wreck. So he's like very like weak and desperate and whatever. And he comes in there and she is like an upset mother basically that starts like lecturing. Like she is pissed. Like it's so interesting. Like you'd think he'd come back and like anyone else would be like scared still, but she is like confronts him. And I think one of the first things she says is, how many of them? And he was like, what? And she's like, how many of them were Andromedans? And he goes, 2. And she was like, 2? And then you're like, okay, she's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that for sure.
But the thing is,
which
I start to like go back on it again, because then it's like, why is she just bringing him around? Like it didn't make any fucking sense. It's like
no, it's like, yeah, no, I agree, because it's like in this scene for sure, but then she takes him to the office and then I'm like, wait, no,
right, because
she was
you just
faking.
found out.
She just wanted to expose him in front of everyone.
Yeah,
is
but
what
it's like,
she's doing.
But like, yeah, your excuse of not excuse me, your theory of her just doing this as a power trip kind of convinced me that she was a evil CEO again. But then, like,
yeah,
we find out.
Which is really is what I thought. Like I thought that like it wasn't enough for her to escape as a victim. What I kind of thought is that she was like, I'm this billionaire CEO, whatever. I'm not gonna just walk out of here limping like a victim. I'm gonna take control of the situation. That's kind of what I thought. But like in this moment, I was like, okay, she's like fully an alien.
Yeah.
Which this is interesting for a lot of reasons. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is the fact that in his pursuit for like taking down this species or trying to negotiate with them for the humans, he has murdered several people who are not aliens at all.
Yeah.
Because he just like assumed that they were, which is like so interesting that he was like so positive about like the CEO woman when he had gotten it wrong before.
Yeah.
But
well,
it's
I think
like
it's
this is
he
like
found 2 that he knows the differences that he didn't know before. So it's just
but yeah, but they were stuff like thin cuticles and like an overbite and like just a narrow feet, like something that like anyone could have.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, he and her like have this, little back and forth little fight. But wait, hold on. Should we, because I want to talk about Teddy and like his humanity and like the parts of him that are like good and bad and whatever. Should we leave that towards the end? Should we talk about her and him back to back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we can go through the characters and shit like that.
Yeah, because I want to talk about it on both accounts, but so we can leave that for now. But anyway, so then she is like, okay, I'm going to take you back with me, basically. I'm going to take you to the mothership. I honestly forget why she agrees to that, or like why. I mean, obviously she's not actually intending to do that, but I forget what she exactly says to convince him. But at this point, Teddy is pretty malleable, like mentally and emotionally. I think he's just so like, he's lost everything. He's just like grasping at straws. So he's not like really hard to convince at this point. Like anything she tried to tell him prior to this moment, he is like fighting back on pretty intensely. But in this moment, he doesn't. She takes him to her office. Of course, everyone has known that she's been missing for days. And she's been on the news and there are cops looking for her. And it's the whole thing. She just pulls up with this weird guy and her car's fucked up. And she like pulls in and she's like, goes to the gate and she's like, let me in. And he's like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, let me in. And they go in, and she also like has like she's wearing her coat that still has like antihistamine cream all over it and shit.
And like a clearly awake, like
yeah, clearly
like,
a wig, like not her hair, like it's like the same color and length, but it's like clearly a wig.
Yeah.
And they go in, and then like the same thing with and they bring Dawn in the back seat.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in the back
face. Yeah, and this was part of it. She told him that they could take Dawn with, and that they may even be able to revive him.
Yeah.
So that I think was like part of it for Teddy, and then so they bring him, and then she just like leaves the car for the valet to take with the fucking dead
and, like,
body in the back.
During this whole next sequence, if you look in the background, you can see the other characters like reacting to the shit that they're seeing. Like you can see the valet start talking to somebody and be like, "There's a fucking dead body in the back of the car."
He's like using like a radio or something, and then they're walking through to her normal route to her desk, and all these people are like,
like one guy starts running, and like it's just hilarious, like the reactions of the people in the background.
Well, and it's so funny because she is like fully like does not care about it's not the reaction of like a woman who's like in danger and is trying to be like, help me, wink wink. It's like she is in control, but she doesn't really care.
Like, mind your own business. I got my own thing going on. Who cares? Just fucking leave me alone.
Yeah, she's like, you guys can go home. It's 5:30.
Yeah,
but she's like limping, and like with this strange, dirty ass, fuck ass man.
Who's like clearly got a shotgun in his pant leg.
He's like, and he's like holding on to it.
Like they're both limping.
And they clearly been through some stuff, and then so they're making their way to her office. She like shuts the blinds and stuff. Everyone's trying to like peek through and like see what's happening. And then you explain this part, because this part like kind of confused me in the moment, so I'll let you explain it.
All right, so like basically she sits down at her desk and she explains that in order, like she like puts like blinds up so like people can't see. And he puts a fucking sofa in front of the door because he's still paranoid that people are gonna try and break through. But she gets a calculator and she's just like, oh yeah, I have to put a code in. It's like a 58-digit code, but like I haven't used it in a while, so I gotta remember it. And she's taking a while to input it. And it's revealed that he has C4 strapped to his chest. And anyone who's ever like played video games or seen like heist movies and stuff like that knows that you can rig this up to like be exploded using like radio frequencies. And I guess she knew this somehow.
Mind you, he like told her this because I think that was him saying basically like, don't try shit because I'll blow up your shit.
Yeah. And she's just like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You'll be fine. Actually, they'll praise you for being smart enough.
She was like, she was like, that's actually so smart.
Yeah, you're like so smart and really cool and attractive for doing.
I'm gonna tell the Emperor about that. That was kind of hot.
And she like tells him to go into the closet, and then she'll be like, all right, I'm gonna press enter, and
it's the teleporter to the ship, by the way.
It's gonna beam you right up. And she goes in there, and then she starts to back away a little bit, and then presses enter, and then he fucking explodes. And
her head hits. His head explodes out of the closet, and it hits her in her head to the point where she has like a bruise.
Yeah, she gets knocked out basically.
No, I'll go first. I don't want you to escape and just leave me here. Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready. I'll see you up there.
Three, 2, 1.
Okay. we're left to assume that she used a calculator to trigger the frequency that blows up his vest, which I didn't know calculators could do, or the only other thing I can think of is that because we find out it is legit a teleporter, is that like she just activated a kill code in the teleporter. I'm not 100% sure.
It did
But
seem like she was making up the calculator actually
yeah,
being the
because she was
teleporter, because
really
she was kind of like
thinking and taking a
she was
long
really thinking and like
time.
yeah, so I feel like that actually was kind of so I feel like you have to be right that it was something with like the calculator triggering it with frequency. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
probably something we should look up.
Yeah, if it was like a
But
cell phone or something, I could understand. But like, yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they do emit
actually,
a
Loki,
frequency. Go ahead. Yeah, go
let's
ahead.
look it
Look
up
that
real
up.
fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
what
stated, but
because I want to cut all that out. But I think what the conclusion we've come to, we've searched up a couple things. I think probably what it was because the EMTs explain, they say something about like, oh, body heat can sometimes set things like that off. It's very common with like explosions. And Josh brought up a good point that like maybe something with the teleportation like raised like the temperature in the room or like in the closet or something, and that's what exploded it. I think like people on the internet are saying like she was going to take him there and figure it out when she got there.
I
I don't
don't
think that's
believe that
true.
at all,
It
especially
seems
with
like
her
she had a
stepping back.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like backing up and not in a way of like going to reach for the door kind of thing, like in a she knew it was about to happen kind of way.
But then,
Or
then
maybe it was
again, at the
the
same
calculator because she does
time,
press the button.
like, I don't understand. Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense because if she did, if she didn't want to take him, why did she go through all this? Why didn't she just like kill him when he came back, or like just leave and like tell the cops who probably would
Yeah.
he probably would have did like a suicide by cop thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
I feel like we need to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't even think about it. Because I was just like, oh, maybe she just. But yeah, like, why did she go through all this? And then, like, they did say something about there was two test subjects. Was it Don and him were the two test subjects?
Did she say two?
No. When she goes to the alien spaceship, and like they're having a conversation, they mentioned something about the two test subjects failing. I don't. It was
I
Don
thought they
and
were. I thought they were saying like all. I think what they were meaning. I think she was telling the truth when she told Teddy that like there were a bunch of people like his mom getting
yeah,
like this test. I think she was just saying that in general, like the
they
testing
all
they were doing
fail.
on them was failing. Yeah, I think that's what they were saying. Hold on. Who is
I'm
Stone?
gonna have to keep. I'm gonna keep cutting back
Oh,
to us trying to fucking sort out this fucking.
yeah. Emma Stone said that it seems like it's like not supposed to be like completely like you're supposed to kind of guess a little bit, but apparently Emma Stone said they like asked her in this interview if Michelle used her alien teleporter to trigger the explosion, but Emma Stone believes that Teddy died entirely by his own hands. Um, she said, "Yeah, I mean, I always assumed it was Teddy. Really, there was a friction situation. And he got stuck, and that thing was a homemade bomb. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Teddy's decapitated head was one of the most incredible pieces of um, is being
So I
darkened.
guess it's just left up to interpretation. There's no explicit.
I guess, but like that doesn't make sense to me that she would have been like willing to actually beam him up.
Yeah, but I
And the
guess
way she reacted didn't seem that way. So it's like I want an explanation for that.
yeah, and like she was backing up from the teleporter, so she knew that that was gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that's how it seemed at least. Unless like when a teleportation happens, there's like it's like dangerous to be close to it. Maybe I don't really
Maybe.
know.
But like, and then, like I'm saying,
I'm
the
gonna look at one
whole
more
thing. If
article.
she had planned to kill all of humanity after this situation, why did she care about doing all this with him? It just didn't make any sense.
Maybe Maybe she felt like she was like weakened to the point where like she couldn't do anything, so she was like, I'll just bring him up there and make him think that like we're gonna
What do
negotiate
you?
things, but really we'll just kill
I
him.
don't agree with that at all.
She at that point like seemed to be
She could have called the
not as like
cops.
physically, well, she could have, but I think she wanted to go back to her mothership, and I think she knew if she called the cops it was going to be like a whole thing where she was like getting
But
questioned and whatever, and
how
she
would
just
she have
wanted to
known
leave.
that he wouldn't have gone there and just blew her brains out after she made him kill his mom?
Well,
Because at that point, he had
she felt
nobody.
as if like, yeah, but I think like she's telling him that when they get there they can maybe revive
Yeah,
Dawn.
yeah, but that's a
So I
hell of a
think like
gamble.
it is, but also she was gambling the entire time. Like she was making
Yeah.
an assumption. I think she believes like she is in such a power position that like she's like, "Well, you won't, whatever," like kind of thing.
Let's get to the
Hold
end
on.
and then we can just talk about this, because I don't like I said, if we're still trying to think of like an explicit answer, I don't
Yeah.
think there is one, you know.
Okay.
So after this, she wakes up in the ambulance, asks if he's still alive. They confirm that he is dead, and then she immediately get mid ride, jumps out of the fucking ambulance, goes back to the office, and then beams herself up into the fucking
Yeah, and
spaceship.
they're all like, "You can't go in there. That's a crime scene, whatever." And she's like, "I just read something," and then she puts herself in the closet, and you see her beam up, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Holy shit."
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is
She
happening?
opens the closet, and you see like this
All the
closet full
guts.
of like
Yeah.
guts and like blood.
And then she
And
like
then after she gets out of the closet, she emerges in this like gross, like
goo.
cloudy pink
Yeah.
water stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's in her ship, and they're all like, "Hey,
Welcome
girl."
back.
And they're all like wearing the same like interesting, like weird outfit. They all have really long, and they're like, we thought if something was wrong, you would have contacted us. And she was all like, I didn't have my hair, so I couldn't contact you. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of like a callback to what Teddy said, where he was like, you got to shave her head so
Yeah.
she
And
can't
like
contact
they're
her
all wearing
mothership.
like a big suit that looks like it's just like a thick like quilt or like knitted
Yeah.
like material. It's very strange. Like like once we
It
get
is
to this
strange.
part, it just goes bonkers, where like
It's completely weird. Yeah.
they have like a tribunal where they basically condemn humanity to death because all the experiments they've been running just haven't been working, and they're like, yeah, they're not worth saving. And then she walks up and she has this like pointy thing, and she literally just pops a flat earth. And then
Yeah. Well, she also like talks in her like native language. Like they have a whole meeting where basically she's like, how many of these like experiments have succeeded, basically, because like it seems like it is true that Teddy's mom was one of like, because they were basically trying to like perfect, like make the human race like not
be like that.
flawed anymore. Like they wanted to see if they could take a genetically like flawed human being and fix them.
Yeah.
Basically, so they were taking. She said that his mother was chosen because she was broken. So basically she's like having a meeting with them, and she's like, how many of these people have like gotten better? Like, what's the percentages? And they're basically like, none of them. Like, it's not working. And then she's like, okay, well, then it's not even worth it. Like, we're done with them. And and then she pops the little bubble, and then we get this like amazing like collection of videos of these people in all kinds of places that have just like fallen where they stood. Weddings, at a cemetery, on a boat, at a beach. There was a couple who was like fucking, and then they died.
Hell yeah, brother.
Anyway, but so like it's just like but it's awesome. Like it looks, we get a classroom, which was really sad looking, but it's just literally all of these humans that like completely just fell as they were, and it was beautifully done. I feel like it was really cool.
It was a really good and like interesting scene, and we also see like that other like animals are alive though. Like dogs,
Yeah, it's
cats,
just the humans that
birds.
have died.
It's just
The
humans
bees
that
are
have died.
the bees are good.
Because originally
Yeah.
we thought that the atmosphere popped and everything on Earth just died instantly, but that wasn't what happened.
Yeah, that wasn't true. And
Um,
it makes sense because Michelle does say, like, prior to this point, that basically humans were a plague, like, to the earth, and like they had come and like made things worse, and that basically the experiments were in an attempt to make them not suck.
yeah, and like
So
Atlantis was like real, and there was a lot of shit
yeah,
to that.
no, it was crazy. She just put a lot of information
Yeah,
out there.
like basically saying that they caused the death of the dinosaurs on accident. But
Yeah.
all right, so to talk about this ending. And like I read a single theory on this when we were like in between watching the movie and starting this pod, because like I'm trying to really think of like what were they trying to get at with this ending, because for me, I immediately go to anti-capitalist shit where it's like, oh, the rich and powerful take advantage of the poor, and then when things go bad for the poor and they start to lash out, the poor people get blamed for it. But then you had all this alien shit, and that all goes out the window immediately. And it's like
I do think it is trying to like talk about that a bit, but yeah, I do think there's more
not.
to it.
I think there's more to it, and like the one theory I read where it's just like, well, the ending means it's like, well, just because like a lot of people think that like, well, if humanity dies, like all important things die, but it's like no, because like Earth has existed for millions of years with life and has been
Humans are actually the problem.
yeah, but like it
They
has
actually
gone
make
through
things worse.
extinction events, and then life still springs up. And so it's like most likely if we all die out, life will continue on Earth. But like for me, and I'm using the world of the movie that the movie sets up as like our guidance for this. And in this movie, these aliens created humans. So
Yeah. She did say that too. She was like, the reason, if you're wondering, like the reason that I resemble you is because we created humans in our likeness.
yeah. So it's like, what gives them the right to wipe us all out? Because y'all created us, and then all of a sudden we don't turn out exactly how you wanted it to, so it's okay to just condemn us all to death. That seems kind of fucky to me,
It's like the aliens, like, I don't know, like the more that we talk about it, especially with Michelle's speech about how there was like Noah, she refers to Noah's Ark. She refers back to Noah's Ark and said that it was sailed for a century and all of that. And that makes me feel like
Well, because
these aliens are supposed to resemble some sort of god.
there was an original human race that got created, but then they got wiped out, and then they they de-evolved while on the ark, and that was apes.
And then apes is what like the present day humans are from.
Which it's like I don't understand. It's like to me
She does call him an ape at some point too. She's like, you idiot, you stupid little ape," or like something like that.
Yeah, and to me that seems very like eugenicist to me. Where it's like, oh, like this person was born with Down syndrome, we should just kill them because they didn't turn out how we wanted them to. And that rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't like that at all. If because like that just seems terrible. You know what I mean?
What I will say is, first of all, partially, like, I think it's important to remember that, like, these aliens do not live by, like, the same moral code or, like, have, like, the same, like,
and I get that.
As us, but
they're
I
not
think that
portrayed as
the way
like I'm viewing this as a film. And like I could be getting it wrong, on like my read of the film. Like, you know, if I rewatch it, I might come out differently. But like I like it's one thing where they're like humans did this to themselves. That's fine. But when you start to add in the alien shit by being like there is this lording over group of people that have decided our fate, even though as we find out in the movie that they have created us to begin with, that seems fucked up. You know what I mean?
It is fucked up, and I genuinely think, I don't know if this is what they were doing, and if I don't know if this was intentional. I feel like the aliens represent God, which I have always thought this about the idea of God, which
Yeah.
is okay. Well, that, like, you know, the statement where it says, like, I know this was like popularized on the internet, so it probably sounds lame, but the like idea of God is either not like these things can't be true. Like both of these things can't be true at once. So God is either not all powerful or not all good.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I feel like the aliens are like meant to represent a god,
I got
because what they are saying is that they like basically are responsible for creating everything on earth post dinosaur times, because they did say that they accidentally killed the dinosaurs, like basically in their attempt to like begin to do whatever they were planning on doing on earth. But if that's the case, like that really feels a lot like a god like that, especially because they're, you know, they also, there's implications. They basically say that like there was, like what Josh was saying earlier, there were like a species of humans before this point that then like were considered messed up and then they were removed, basically, like that sort of thing. So
yeah.
I do think that it is like meant to a little bit dive into religion and like a higher power. So I think like it's hard for me. Yeah, like that is kind of like an evil place to come from, but it's also hard for me to sympathize that much, because it's like I do feel like the earth would be a lot better off if we weren't here.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like humans are like the ones that like make earth like a bad place to be.
What my thing is like if these beings like I think the fault of this movie is that these beings are creators, you know? If they had come from somewhere else and just found us and were like, y'all are killing your planet, this place is beautiful, but you're the problem, that's different. But because they created us, all we became their responsibility. It's like if I raised like a kid and like my kid like accidentally like set fire to like, you know, a forest and I just shot that kid in the head. Does that make that right?
No, but that's why it feels similar to that of like a god, like where
Yeah.
you see
But
like
what's the point of
instances
the
of the
movie? Like what
Bible
is
of like through God, there's like there, you know, you have men like sacrificing their sons and stuff.
no,
So
and
it's like, and
like I
go ahead.
get what you're saying. Like I'm not disputing that point if they're trying to make that equivalence. But what then like what is it the movie is trying to say? Because it doesn't seem to condemn these beings at all. It doesn't seem to condemn it condemns humanity totally by showing like just how broken all these characters are. Um and I'm like the only people that seem like benevolent and seem like all the decisions they make are true and correct. Like even like the person that's running the company, Michelle, who's the queen of the fucking aliens, is running a company that's killing bugs and people and other things. So it's like they are directly contributing to the fucked up situation. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to gather from this, and why is it that they are the decider? You know what I mean? Like what is the movie? What is the movie's message?
If I'm being so real, I don't know like exactly. like what the message is supposed to be,
Yeah.
but apart from just highlighting like what would be the word? Basically just like highlighting who we are, like in what humanity has become, and like how like animal-esque we can be.
Yeah.
And I think that like I really, again, with the tie-in with the aliens, I'm not completely sure. Like I don't know if it's supposed to be like showcasing that because we were modeled after these things that they are also like have faults and are wrong and like have fucked up ideals and whatever. I don't know if like that's supposed to be part of it. I really
Yeah.
don't. But like I do feel like it's mostly just supposed to highlight the fact that like the
We
way
are the
that
problem.
we're the problem. And
Yeah.
like I think like really seeing like that end sequence where you're seeing all of these people who have just dropped dead right like at their which also we get like a couple scenes where they're like at a science museum where they're like looking at the fossils and they like have little dinosaur
Yeah.
like toys moving around like that sort
Yeah.
of, but we see like all these things, but around them everything is still very much alive. Like we still have the ocean like moving, we
Yeah.
still see dogs, we see cats, we see bees, we see everything like still going on as if like nothing happened apart from the fact that like
Yeah. Humans
the
died.
humans
Yeah.
are the humans died. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think like it may be, I don't really understand. Like, I was wondering that too. Like, what really was the point, especially of like the company? I don't
Yeah. Like
exactly
it's like what were
know if,
they like? It's just like to honestly the biggest thing, and I like I the like the point about humanity like not being the end all be all of Earth s- still works. I like this is the weird thing is
and also if she is supposed to be the queen too, like if this is, because I was thinking like maybe this company is just like meant. Are you speaking?
yeah I'm getting ready to, but I was gonna let you say your point first.
Oh, it was weird because like your the green thing was going and it looked like your mouth was moving,
No,
but
I
I didn't
think
hear
it's because
anything.
my hands grabbed the microphone because I'm about to start screaming. No, I'm just kidding.
Like if she's supposed to be like the queen of this, which is like that was the implication,
Yeah.
I feel like if this company is just supposed to be like maybe like these aliens think so little of like human life and like what happens on earth really that they're kind of just like trying stuff, like just like doing stuff just to like kind of see, but then it's
But
like, but then why have your like most valuable asset, like your most powerful, like your queen, why would she be at the forefront of that? Like why would
yeah.
she be on earth doing that? Like why is that important enough to where like what is the point of the work she's doing and like her being physically there if like there's all these other people who are less important, like
Mhm.
we would assume
Yeah.
on the ship, like why wouldn't they be the ones that are running
Yeah,
the show?
and it's like I like my I think my biggest point is, and it's funny because at the beginning of the movie I couldn't wait for the alien shit to happen. And I
Mm-hmm.
think by going to the alien shit at the very end, you fuck the message. Because like I like not saying I could do this better than this guy because this guy's made a lot of fantastic films. And honestly, the movie's really good. I just like I said, I'm just trying to decipher what the fuck it's trying to say. Um is like I think if she wasn't an alien, right? And all this shit happens the same way, but she like couldn't let go of the fact that this guy had kidnapped her and she led him to his death in like a humiliating way like this or something like that. And then we cut to actual aliens seeing this go down and being like, yeah, these motherfuckers aren't worth saving. And then it ends the same way. Like, because, like, all the people in this are fucked up and broken and just ruin everybody all around them. Like,
Yeah.
so, like,
It's weird
that
though
makes
because
sense,
it's like
but
the entire movie, like I feel like you want Michelle to be an alien because you're like, okay, like we're gonna do all this and then what? But I got to a point, and like Josh got to a point where we're kind of like, well, at this point though, like it feels less powerful for her to
because of
be
the thing.
an alien. And I do think like when I did think that the idea of that was like, I am this like powerful woman, and I've, this piece of trash has been like doing all this stuff to me. So it's
Yeah.
not enough for me to call the cops and be whisked away a victim. It is something where it's like, I need to put him in his place, in like a place where I feel powerful, like that kind of thing. I feel like that, I don't know, it's like something, and it goes from like the entire movie feeling like very human and like flawed to suddenly she does appear in this like very alien looking place. I kind of thought when we got to that point too that it would feel more human than it did. Like
Yeah.
like I don't know that I liked how like stereotypically alien it was. Like
Yeah.
it felt very like spaceship.
And it was just very goofy in like a way where it's like I know the whole movie has like a dark sense of humor around all of it, so like it kind of makes sense, but it's like I don't know,
It kind of just felt like it didn't belong though after like especially with like
yes.
all the heavy shit that happened where it was like
Yeah,
we
like
had
we
gotten like
saw a
Don who
heavily
killed
autistic
himself,
kid
and
shoot
then
himself in the face. Yeah, like
Teddy like losing the only, they were the only things that they had.
yeah,
So it was like they both lost that. And then he literally has been like he's been doing all of this stuff up until this point to like try to get justice for his mother.
yeah.
And then he, in an act of desperation, murders her because the alien told him so. And it's like, and then it's like we just go to like, oh, she was an alien, and it was just kind of like alien things.
And like the thing is, it's like if she had sat him down and been like, "We are aliens and we are trying to fix your mom," maybe he
Right.
doesn't fucking turn out the way he does. You know what I mean? It's like
Which
it's like
honestly, it makes sense to me that since she was an alien and they were all expect them to it makes sense to me that they like she wouldn't be sympathetic. Like
I
they
know.
try to them, humans are like an experiment of like, hey, we are so great. Can we create something that is like in our own image and
Yes.
whatever? So it's like, okay, but you guys turned out not how we expected. So I don't expect them to have like a human level of like empathy where they're like, yeah, but like we were responsible. No, it's like, okay, they didn't turn out how I wanted. Bye. Like very much so like the idea of like God creating like a, what's it called when the whenever the world ends.
Rapture?
Yeah, like a rapture, like something with like Noah's Ark where it's like, okay, you guys
Yeah.
didn't turn out right and you guys are fucking around. So now you guys, unfortunately, there's like only 5 of you can live now, and
Yeah.
also like everyone else is going to drown. Like kind of
But
like that. So like that makes sense to me, but it is like with the message of the movie plus them being aliens. Like I think that's the thing.
but then it's like but they obviously show care for every other species on the planet. Cuz like they
I don't
say
know that
that.
they have care. I don't think that they care for, I think she didn't say that she cared about them. She said she admired them.
Well,
And
no,
I think what it is,
she literally calls it like beautiful, like when the dinosaurs were, and the whole point of humans was because they regretted killing all the dinosaurs.
yes, but I don't think it was because they like had this emotional connection to them. I think that when you have to think back to like when she's talking about the honeybees, when they're having that dinner, she doesn't say anything about like when he's like, what do you like about them? Like her alienness like very much shows there where she's like, I respect the fact that they like are resilient basically in the face of peril. I respect that they have work ethic, they've got like a community, they do, whatever. She's not saying like anything really except for like admiring their system. And like how I think what it is she believes that like these animals and stuff like there's a perfect system without humans. Like they are all, there's checks and balances just like naturally there. We've got predators, we've got prey. like it's, you know, the everything is flourishing, like we've got nature, we've got all this stuff. And I think that they remember a time like where there was dinosaurs and stuff, and it was just like, you know, like everything just was
So
as it should be.
is the problem
So I
that
think,
humans have emotions? Is that like
well, she did say something. Which is, again, I feel like I need to rewatch this movie. She did say
yeah?
something to him about how they had something in them that, like, basically the reason that they like redid humans in the first place was because they had, I forget what she said, but she did say something about them having like flaws. And I think like what it is like they wanted to create humans to be like in harmony with
Mhm.
what Earth already was, like kind of like contributing to that. But what it is like humans fight against like everything that Earth has to offer naturally. And I think that like because they don't, like, humans, like at least present day, we don't have proper community. We don't like have proper like no one's like loyal to each other, no one helps each other, like no
Mhm.
one, like everyone's kind of like fighting against their own natures and each other and whatever. And it's like with animals, they're just how they are. Like they're just they eat, they sleep, they have instincts, they do their thing. They don't do anything negative
Yeah.
necessarily, like to. So I think what it is it's literally like scientific, that they're literally just like, I admire the fact that like look at Earth is flourishing, look at all these things, look at all this life, look at how the everything, like the synergy of it all. And it's like humans disrupted that. So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, can we tweak them to make them not be like that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not
But
working, so then fuck it, we're done.
I think like like what I'm saying is I don't. It's not like I'm fighting against their reasoning, and it's not even like I'm fighting against like like the aliens' thought process. My thought is just the person who made the film. Was it Lathimoth? I got a list, but I can't fucking say that name. Um, is like what when you made this movie, what is it that you were trying to say or depict?
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know?
I think like and I do think for me the biggest thing that's like giving me a hard time is the fact that they
The
had
aliens.
what was supposed to be, well, it's like I even if we kept the alien part, I think the fact that they made the queen alien a CEO of a company who is like directly impacting the earth negatively, when it's like these aliens are clearly like very intelligent and aware of these things,
Yeah.
and they do like admire it. Like I think I'm okay with there being aliens or a CEO. I think it being like them
Both.
being one and the same is what's the issue.
Yeah. Or like if we had her be like the head of like the WWW, like the WWF, where it's like, like a wildlife foundation or like something like that, where like their goals were actively trying to save the planet, but it seemed like everything her company was doing was negatively affecting everything. And it's just like what's the
Also,
point then?
like
Like I
how
don't.
did another thing is like Teddy seemed to have like such like so many emotional triggers to like the bees and like pesticides and whatever. And like
Yeah, like he
another thing
genuinely
is what
seemed
is
to care
how
about
does
the planet.
how does yeah, and like to me I'm like, how does that connect though to his mom? And like, wait, hold on, how does that connect to his mom? Like what he I thought the entire movie that like it was we were gonna get tied back to like his like anger
Yeah.
and all of that time, because that's like seems to be his main motivator. Like he talks about that more than he talks about what happened to his mom.
Yeah.
So it's like
And
if
but like
that's the case, then
and
it's
like
like it feels like, okay, why? And then also like it makes sense then that he would see her as like an evil force and whatever. But then also if Michelle and like the other aliens their whole purpose is to create like a perfect world, like in their eyes, then why are they contributing to it in a negative way? And why are the humans at fault for that? And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
And
And also, Michelle is clearly like the only alien at that company. So it's like,
Yeah.
why is she living an entire human life on Earth? Like,
And,
it's just strange.
like, we're even shown that, like, when Teddy is, like, working, and we, like, really didn't talk about this, and he's talking about that lady who's just, like, obviously suffering under the company, and he's just like, hey, don't worry, we're gonna fix this. You know what I mean? Like, he has, like, although he's fucking nuts, and, like, you know, obviously not fit to be the person to try and make this happen, he has altruistic, like, reasonings.
Yeah, he cares.
You know what I mean?
He cares.
And it's just like to me.
Yeah, he's doing these horrible things. He's doing horrible things, but it is like in his warped sense of like justice.
Greater good. Yeah. And it's just like, to me, I'm like if a human being is broken and not perfect, the movie to me is saying that it should not exist. And I'm like, that's just fucking terrible. Like, I think I might not like this movie.
Disagree. If I'm being real, I don't disagree. I genuinely, as much as like obviously I am like a human and I really love parts of my life and I like don't want to die, I think the Earth would be so much better off without us.
And I know, like, listen, I get that as a whole, you know, but it
is like a weird message to get from like another human being who also is like in a position of power
that could
like
help
in real
fix
life
things.
So it does feel weird that it's like, okay,
like, why is it coming
so we
from
should
them?
just so like, is it like, so the message is like give up, or like we're unhelpable, or
should we just
like
start
the only
mass killing humans, like
which I'm like, I don't even disagree that we would be better off without it, but it's like, we're human, we are like all humans though, and it is like
ultimately,
you know, the message
we
of
are
like
the ones who can fix things. There is no fucking being that's gonna wipe us all out or anything, so it's our responsibility to fix shit. So it's like, I don't know what the movie's trying to say by being like, oh, the world would be better off without us. Like, it's just,
should we watch like a quick little, now that we've given like our fresh movie thoughts, should we like stop recording and watch like a super quick little like, or like look up a super quick little like purpose?
Hold on,
see if we get any clarity on it.
I'm not gonna stop recording, but I'm just gonna.
Josh and I just watched a little 10-minute YouTube video. We didn't finish it though. That was basically supposed to tell us what we missed, and because we're Zoomers, that was basically supposed to tell us like what we may have missed. And it kind of landed us with the conclusion that we understood like what they were trying to get at, but we still don't quite feel like they landed it. So what the video was saying was kind of that like humanity is destructive, and if we continue on how we are, then. But I think like our main issue, or I guess I'll speak for myself, is like the fact that the alien thing with like the intentions they had plus the like evil CEO thing just don't go together. And like Josh said off camera that basically if their point was to get across that like humanity will be its own downfall, then an outside source affecting things doesn't make any sense.
And that's pretty much, I disagree with that. I think this podcast, let me see where the recording's at right now. Give me 1 second. We are at
2 hours and 11
2
minutes.
hours, but we could probably cut like 20 minutes of that with us doing shit.
Yeah.
But all right, so this is I think we should just get down to like final opinions of the movie. Because I mean, like, obviously, if you've watched it, people, you'll have your own conclusions, and you might disagree with us, and comment down in the comments and argue with us. And I'm not going to respond, but you can do that. But so do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? like just
You can
overall
go first.
opinions of the movie. So, I think as a movie, it's extremely watchable. They stick with the 4x3 like throughout it, throughout the whole movie, which is interesting artistic choice. The movie's shot beautifully. The acting is fucking incredible. Like Jesse Plemons is so fucking good in this. He is like usually
good.
like I do really like Emma Stone, and she is good in this, and like I do sometimes she does like steal the movie, but this is a Jesse Plemons vehicle, man. He took this shit and
For
he
sure.
rode with it.
No, he
And-
completely became his character. It was great.
Yeah, like usually like my attention span is getting worse because of fucking social media and everything else destroying our attention spans and stuff like that. But this movie did like have me invested pretty much throughout the entire thing because I'm trying to piece together all this stuff. So like I got to give it points for that. It's just it really fell flat for me on messaging at the end, even though like I was with it throughout the whole movie. Fuck, this is hard.
Did you just reboot?
Nah, because it's like I have.
Factory reset.
It's like all right. I want to give it a 4, but me being personally not a fan of how
Messaging is
it's.
extremely important to Josh. That is
It
like
is.
the like core of what he looks for in a movie.
Yeah.
A movie can be like so well done and like whatever,
Well-
but if it doesn't have no, I'm not saying that's unfair.
No,
I'm saying like
I'm not saying that's always the case though, but for a movie like this where they are really layering on themes and they are really going for something, if you're going to do it, you got to stick to your guns and make it count.
yeah.
And I just don't think they did with this. You know? But like yeah, I do agree with like I do tend to look for like what is a movie's purpose? What is it trying to say? And like cuz I'm a believer that art can motivate people and move people to like do stuff. Like Andor, one of my favorite shows of all time. If I wasn't already a leftist, that shit would have radicalized me. But I just do believe that movies can and like it kind of does where it's like, hey, we should protect the environment and stuff, but it just doesn't hit for me. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. 3 to 5.
Word. Honestly, I don't think I have much to say. I think I like said most of how I was feeling
Mm-hmm.
throughout. I pretty much agree with everything Josh already said. I do think like the way it was shot and like the acting, especially from Jesse Plemons, was just like so incredible and like had me
So
very
good.
hooked, and it was so interesting
Yeah.
throughout all of it. Like I was always like on the edge of my seat. You never quite knew what was happening. So I think that was really nice. But I do agree, like I think it's like more important to Josh. I think like if I had seen this movie on my own, I may have had like a feeling in the back of my head of like something being missing, but I don't know how much I would have really like just automatically went there like Josh did. Like it probably would have taken me a minute to like come to that conclusion, if I'm being real. But having discussed it, like, and us breaking it down, I do feel like there is some stuff missing. I think I'd give it a 3.5.
Yeah.
Mostly because even though there were faults, I was having a good time. It was so entertaining.
See, on Letterboxd, there's that thing where it's like you rate it, and then you can also choose whether you liked it or not. And I think what I would do is I would rate it a 3, but I would still put that I liked it. Like if someone asked me, should I watch Bugonia? I think I'm saying yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's that little heart in the corner of the review where I'm like, yes, I did like this movie, but the messaging fell flat for me, which caused me to take away stars. But and it can be read in a eugenicist way, and I'm not a fan of that at all. But yeah, watch it. It's cool. It's interesting.
Watch it. It's cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're so back. At this point, we would have had like 3 consistent episodes back to back, and we're about to have like another really fun one probably. Our
Yeah,
next
we're
one we
gonna-
might be super high, so get prepped for that.
Yeah, we're I think like we did Train to Busan, but that is, even though it is heartfelt, there's a lot of fun in that. And I think this one isn't as fun. We should definitely lean more into the fun for the next one, but I don't think we haven't decided on the movie yet.
I thought
but
this one was fun. You didn't think this was fun?
what, where a autistic kid shoots himself in the head? I think, yeah, that was so fun.
I mean, that part was sad. I mean, there was also, a father gets ripped away from his child in Train to Busan.
Yeah, but there's action in that, and I fucking love action movies, so that
Yeah.
works for me.
Well,
But anyway,
Anyway,
thank you guys for joining us on Not on the Pod podcast. Thank you for sticking around.
who
for our-
knows? Next week it could be Emily. He could be replacing me yet again. Have a good week.
See you guys later.